straight from the mayor's mouth, with Matthew Dickerson from Dubbo Regional Council.
Hi, and welcome to a special episode of Straight from the Mayor's Mouth. This week I'm bringing you a treat that will hopefully tickle your fancy. In my regular weekly podcast, each week finishes with the Limerick of the Week, which I create based on one of the events from that week. This week I'm doing a lyrical look back, a Limerick ledger, if you will, of the year with the limericks from each week. Community capers chronicled in charming, cheeky verse. So sit back, relax, and relish in the rhymes as I rewind through the rollicking roller coaster of our year in limericks. Let the Limerick listening luncheon begin. I'll hit you with my limerick. Obviously, leading into Australia Day this week, I thought a great opportunity to do a limerick about Australia Day. So here's my limerick for this week, just for you, Richard, and for Barnesy while he's listening. This week we all have the chance to say how the nation is better than it was yesterday. There is a great opportunity to display our progressive unity and all come together on Australia Day.
Well done. We'll see everybody in Wellington on the 25th and see everybody in Dubbo on the 26th.
This one this week is all about, we've been waiting for your return, so all about the return of you.
Oh, mate, that's very special. Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to listening to it. Fire away.
This week sees the return of our host, who has toured the UK from coast to coast. Now we can embark on Season 2 with Mark. To the return of you, our listeners do toast.
Oh, Matt. Oh, a little bit of tear running down my eye there. It's beautiful. It's very, very nice. What's your focus this week? I know last week was obviously the best one because you focused on my return, which was lovely of you, by the way, and I really enjoyed that. But what do you got this week? What's our focus?
With your birthday, I wanted to do it again on you, but I jumped the gun, didn't I? I went a week too early. So this week, I thought I'd focus on roads.
There we go. Well, I'm glad we finished with the roads talk then. This sort of leads to a segue moment. There it is. That's right,
and there's so much discussion around roads. Anyway, here's what I've put together.
Excellent.
In Dubbo, the roads are a sight, with potholes causing much fright. There is much to be done, and the repairs have begun, so the future is looking very bright.
Oh, Matt, well done again. Well done. I talk about every week. I do enjoy our limerick every week. It's such a nice way to finish off our podcast. So what have you got for us this week?
Well, when I wrote this limerick, it was fairly fresh after we'd had our storm. So the storm was a bit of the focus for the limerick for this week. So I will do another one on you, I promise. I know you like to see the limerick every week on you, but unfortunately...
No, look, I've changed my mind now. Just get one of those garden seats down the track.
Yeah, right. Okay, good. So our limerick this week goes like this. A storm in Dubbo caused widespread grief, leaving behind a trail of disbelief. Houses were shaking, windows were breaking, but no one was hurt, much to our relief.
Oh, well done, mate. Well done. And I think you've nailed it very, very well. Of course, the storms did come through, but fortunately, no one got injured. Of course, this is the time here for the Limerick.
Well, the highlight of my week last week, lots of highlights. Every week I have lots of highlights, but I do get a bit of a buzz out of new residents.
Yes.
They come along. I tell them the correct answer as to why they moved to Dubbo is because of the great mayor and councillors we've got in Dubbo, and they laugh sometimes. Yeah. So, I'm not sure if they're thinking that's a joke that I'm saying.
No, absolutely. Vanity is subtlety. There it is.
That's right. So my limerick this week is all about our new residents.
Oh, lovely.
Here we go. In Dubbo, the new residents did land, moving from all across this great wide land. They soon found out what Dubbo is about, and they now think that Dubbo is just grand.
Oh, well done. Well done, yes. And to all the new residents out there who we welcome with our arms open to you, welcome here to Dubbo Town. It's the end of the show, and we always finish off with your limerick. So what have you got in line for us this week?
Well, I couldn't help it. The touch footy was on, so to me, the touch footy and the great weather and the great preparation. So my limerick for this week is all about that, and here it goes. In Dubbo, the sun shines so bright. The green grounds are a lovely sight. With touch footy to play on a fine weather day, it's a scene that just feels so right.
Oh, it's a lovely way to finish. Well done, Matt. That's brilliant, buddy. And of course, we always finish our little program each week with your limerick. So, I always like to say this. What have you got for us this week?
Well, we've got Wellington has been a topic we've discussed
Absolutely.
a few times today.
It's been front and centre in today's talks.
And the Vintage Fair, which you didn't make it to.
No, but next year, Wellington, I promise I'll get there.
The Wellington residents will forgive you. So, the limerick. This is all about the Vintage Fair this week.
Beautiful.
Here we go. At the annual Wellington Vintage Fair, you'll find treasures beyond compare. From old records to hats and antique cricket bats, you might even find some old underwear.
That may be one stand I won't go to, but good on you, Matt. Much appreciated. Well done, well done. Limerick of the week. So, what have you got for us this week, Matt? What are the listeners going to be impressed by this week with your limerick skills?
This is your favourite part of the week, I'm sure.
I always get so excited about your limericks. I really do. Maybe it's the English teacher coming out of me. I don't know.
Maybe.
But I enjoy it. I don't know.
I should get you to mark them for me each week. I thought I'd do it about the council chambers.
Oh, yes,
Maybe a bit of controversy around
very
that
topical.
one. So I don't mind a bit of controversy. I don't mind different points of view. So here we go. There once was a council that knew their old chambers just wouldn't do. So they packed up and moved, and though some disapproved, their new home made their dreams come true.
Well done as always. I'll give you a 10. There you go.
Oh, thank you. Out of 10 or out of 100?
I'll give you a 10. Part to look forward to every hour. That's it. We finish it off with this week with, of course, our limerick. So, Matt, what have you got for us this week? I'm interested to hear in regards to what the limerick's going to be, because there's been a few areas we've focused on today.
I can't go past waste to art.
Of course you can't.
It does seem to be one of the things I do talk about a lot with the Cultural Centre. So my limerick this week is about waste to art, and it goes like this. There once was an artist so smart, she turned fast fashion waste into art. With colours so bright, they transformed the night and gave old garments a sparkling new heart.
Oh, I do love that. You know, it's well done again. Well done. One of those things I suggest, the fact, if I ever put an entry in, or if you or I probably ever put an entry in, I have a feeling our art would be probably waste to waste.
Oh dear, I'll use that in future.
There it is, exactly. What do you got for us this week, my friend? Anything in particular that's sort of really tickled your fancy this week?
Sure. I thought I'd do it on the fact that we had a council meeting, and there were a few important things to talk about at the council meeting. We talked about our airport, we talked about the conservatorium and somewhere for people to stay. So I thought and a limerick, I love the limerick concept because you haven't got much room to actually say what you want to say.
It's a very structured little piece of poetry.
So here's what I came up with, trying to combine all that into one limerick.
This could be very clever.
A council assembled with zest to ponder what course was the best. Airport fees we'd review, music rooms to accrue, and accommodations for workers addressed.
Oh, nicely done. Well, you've done very, very well there to manage to sort of bring all of those elements into the one shot. What have you got for us this week, Matt? What are we looking for?
I don't want to blow my own trumpet too much here.
Okay, what are we doing?
But I was on fire when I was doing the limerick this week.
Oh, watch out.
And I couldn't decide on which limerick to use. So I'm going to do two limericks this week.
We're doing two, folks. We've got
now,
two going.
Don't get carried away. Don't get used to this.
Let's get out the leather chair and settle in for this one there, if that's the case.
It's going to go back to one next week, I'm sure, but I couldn't decide. Now, of course, we have talked about April 1st and what happened on April 1st, so I thought that would be a good thing.
Still waiting for that DNA testing. It's okay.
That's right. I thought that'd be a good thing to do the limerick on. So I'll give you two. My first one, you can decide. You can tell me which one.
Oh, okay. So I can judge you like an English teacher now.
Like an English teacher.
Here we
you
go.
Can judge me and tell me which one you like best. On April 1st, a clever young bloke devised a grand plan to provoke a DNA ruse for litters abuse. Had the whole town believe 'twas no joke. That's number one.
Very good.
Two, on April 1st, a joke did unfold. A DNA database with all residents enrolled to fight off the trash in a scientific dash. But actually the mayor wasn't quite that bold. You don't have to give me this.
Oh, no. I've got a little one here for you. A very good friend of mine used to work with, a bloke by the name of Paul Fay. Remember Paul Fay?
I know Paul Fay, yeah.
Poppy Fay. Now, in moments like this, Poppy would always come along and say, "How'd I go, Pop? How was that?" He'd say, "Mark, I'll give you a 3. And I'd turn around and I'd say, a 3 pop? Seriously? Like, surely it could be better than that. And I said, what's it out of, Pop? What's it out of? And he goes, it doesn't matter. I'll give you a 3. I'll give you a 3, but I got to go for the second one.
The second
one. I like the second one. The second one. It was very, very good. Well done.
Excellent.
Well done. Limerick of the week. What have you got for us?
Well, it's hard to pick this week what to do the Limerick on because there were so many exciting things, but it's hard for me to go past citizenship. I just get excited by that.
Yes.
So
excellent.
The topic for this week is about citizenship. So here we go. Dubbo's heart swelled with elation as 33 gained a new station. Now Aussies they be in the land of the free, a part of their newfound nation.
Oh, well done, well done. Well, folks, you might have missed him out there today out at the Man from Ironbark Festival, but I tell you what, we got a chance to hear him here live on our little podcast. Now, Matt, we've got a very, very busy little program here today. We're about to get a lot through. So I'm very interested now to see and to work out what area of focus are you going to work on in regards to this week's Limerick?
Yeah, it's a very good question. And one of the things in relation to the Limerick, obviously, is I try and pick on something that's happened during the week.
Yes.
And there was so much that happened during the week.
I know, it's been very, very congested. There's a lot of stuff going on here. So which way are we going to go? Who have you chosen? What area?
Well, I did struggle a little bit, but I thought the tour to the sewage treatment plant was something, I'm not going to say it's a highlight for councillors, but they won't forget it easily. Seeing raw sewage.
That smell, pick up that shirt again, you'll never forget it.
The
Absolutely.
visuals, seeing that raw sewage come in and then be
to all
treated.
those listeners out there, I'm sorry in advance.
Hopefully not listening to this in breakfast time. So my Limerick this week is about that particular
Wonderful.
visit. Here
Looking
we go.
forward to it.
Councillors arose in the early morning light, keen to inspect the sewage treatment site. Our steps were cautious and true. We managed to avoid the poo, while always keeping our noses held tight.
Oh, Matt, I have to say it. That was crap. No. Oh, that's fantastic. Good on you, mate. Well done. I'm glad to see you've managed to pull in all of those wonderful extra substances that come out of us and to bring it into a Limerick form. That's well done. Time now for the Limerick of the week. So, my friend, what do you have for us this week?
With so much talk about renewable energy zones and the benefits we might get for the
most
community.
Of the podcast here today, didn't it?
That's right,
yes.
it did. Then let's go and hit it with a Limerick about that.
Love it.
In a town where funds were quite tight, renewable energy brought them some light. Community groups thrived, their projects revived, as green money made their future bright.
Well done, well done. I love it. It actually is so timely in regards to it there. It's time for the Limerick of the week. So what do you have for us today, mate? What's the brain's been obviously mulling over a few thoughts this week. What have you come up with?
I can't go past the budget. The budget.
Well, it's always a very exciting thing, the budget. I'm sure those people think they're groan, but no, it is.
Well, it sets the tone for what we're doing for the
Well, it does.
next
It's
year.
money. You spend it, and it's people benefit from it.
And it's significant sums. And it's one of those things where I'm taking your money and spending it in a range of different ways. Now, we do get more money than just rates money, but that's certainly a significant part of it. So people should be aware of it. So,
Well, fire away. Show
my
us
Limerick
what you
this
got.
week is all about the budget. Councillors now have a budget in hand, and we invite all our residents to disband. Review it, we plead. Together we'll succeed in making our community grand.
Ah, well done, well done. You always never cease to amaze me, that intellect of yours, when it comes down to the Limerick as well. Always sit and wait in anticipation. What have we got this week?
Well, I'm cheating this week
You're cheating.
because at the launch of the Dream
What are
Festival
you
during
using,
the week,
ChatGPT or something? Eh?
at the launch of the Dream Festival during the week, I thought, what better way to launch some sort of arts, cultural type
Yes.
event than with a bit of poetry, and a Limerick is a very short form of poetry.
Very good, very good.
So I actually used, so people might have already heard this because it was on the news during the week when I did my Limerick
Oh, wait
to
a
launch
minute. I
this.
think I did see a picture of you in a feather boa or something.
That's the one.
Was that you?
Nice colourful hat. That's right. All part of it. Did a bit of juggling while doing a
Look at
Limerick.
this, a multi-talented man.
And so I'm using the same Limerick now.
How are
just
you?
because I thought.
Well, reuse, recycle, all that sort of stuff.
That's
It
right.
works
So
well.
I thought that'd be the best way to do it because it still relates to what happened during the week. So here goes. The launch of the Dreamfest came. and the town was alight with a flame of artistry bright by day and by night, a festival no one could tame.
Oh, that's magic. And folks, I know you can't see what's happening here, but he's actually got 3 juggling balls doing that at the same time. We're pretty busy again here today. We've covered a lot of different areas, so I am actually very interested to hear, where are we going to go with your limerick today?
Well, it is actually tough because looking across all those different topics, I thought about doing it about Tony McGrain. I thought about a road trip. Thought that might get a bit ugly with the road trip limerick. So thought
Got
about
a few lines for you. I can probably throw a few.
thought about some of the things from the standing committee meetings on Thursday night. Talk about giving money out to various groups. So there's so many different topics to choose from. But what I went with was this. In the halls of Charles Sturt, quite grand, studied Emma with her future planned. The McGrain was her feat, a scholarship so neat, her triumph echoed throughout the land.
Ah, mate, that's wonderful. Well done, you clever man yet again. It's been a busy little week as per usual. What have you got for us this week?
Couldn't go past the 150th show.
Oh, of course.
So my limerick this week is a tribute to the 150th Dubbo show. And
Here
it
it
goes like this.
Beautiful. Have a crack at it.
Dubbo's 150th did unfold, a tale that's worth being told. Fun, laughter and shows where the cool wind blows, an experience more precious than gold.
Mate, that's wonderful. As per usual, you never cease to amaze me in regards to your poetic abilities. Henry Lawson, you are.
The limerick for the week.
Yes?
And I thought this week with the discussion around the REAC, if I can keep getting people to talk about the REAC, then that's a good thing.
Excellent, yes.
So here we go. The power and Badangra is quite grand, with a visitor centre so planned. Education will take flight in the day and the night in this new renewable energy land.
I have to say that's probably one of your best ones yet. I did actually enjoy that. Well, mate, it's that time of the week. It's been a busy little session again today. We got through a lot, so it's time for your limerick of the week. What have you got for us this week?
The significant event of the week is obviously the opening of the Archibald, so I can't go past that. So the limerick reflects on that this week. In the heart of Dubbo's art scene, the Archibald finalists do convene, with brush, paint and flair, showing talents so rare, an art spectacle like none ever seen.
Oh, now, mate, you may not be able to sort of pick up a paintbrush and do much with it, but you can certainly have that talent of the wordsmith. Well done. So what is your focus today?
We've got the New South Wales Junior Rugby Championships on over the long weekend.
How good's that?
And on Monday I'll go along and present the winners with their trophy, so that'll be great. So I thought a bit different this week, a bit of sport, so let's do
nothing wrong with that.
The limerick around the New South Wales Junior Rugby Championships. $1.8 million they've injected into the economy.
That's the injection.
By having this particular championships, the under-14s here.
Isn't that fantastic?
Here's the limerick. New South Wales junior champs make their way to Dubbo's fields where they'll play over a weekend long in June's frosty song, their rugby prowess on display.
Oh, very nice. And it has been a little bit frosty too, may I say, as well. But of course, it's got towards that time of our little podcast, and we always have time for your limerick of the week. So what do you got for us this week, buddy?
All about the flag raising ceremony this week.
Oh, very special.
In the heart of Dubbo, so serene, for the Philippines, a vibrant scene. 125 years the flag flies beneath the boundless skies, a sight so touching and serene.
Oh, I've got a little tear just dropping there right now.
I must admit, it was tough to get a limerick where I got the 125 years and the Philippines and the flag raising in Dubbo. That was a bit of a challenge for me this
You've done
week.
well to get them all in there, you think, because there's not a lot of rhyming options in those many, but you've done well. Well, I think we've covered so many topics in one podcast. We got through a heap there today. So out of all those areas that we focus on, which one are you going to focus on for your limerick of the week?
I'm actually finding it harder to decide on which topic rather than actually writing the limerick. The limerick seems to come easier than going, all those things there, which one could I focus on?
Yes.
But I can't go past a limerick about Mark Coulton.
Oh, well, that's nice. It's just very appropriate too, I'd suggest, after
that's
what
right.
we just spoke about.
So here we go for Mark. For Mark Coulton, let's raise a cheer. Serving Parks now into his 16th year. In the federal sphere he's a star, his influence felt near and far. He is known for being honourable and sincere.
Oh, well done. So, my friend, what have you got for us this week?
Well, I thought the blood concept would be good enough. Actually,
very
speaking of
Dracula,
limericks, I was doing some work last night and I wasn't watching the cricket, but I had the radio going, or I had a streaming service going with ABC Radio on it, listening to the cricket.
Yes.
And Jim Maxwell was talking, and of course it's going out via the BBC and then rebroadcast through ABC.
Yep.
And Jim Maxwell said he was having dinner with a friend of his the night before who loves his limericks.
Oh, okay.
And Josh Tongue was bowling at the time,
Yes.
and he said, surely there's a good limerick out there involving Josh Tongue. Has anyone got a limerick out there? Well, no, there's a challenge for me. So I stopped the work that I was doing, wrote a couple of limericks with Josh Tongue in those limericks. But then it's the BBC, so they were talking about texting to the BBC, and so I couldn't text to that. I was trying to work out how to actually get them to Jim Maxwell. In the end, I just found his Twitter handle and put a couple of posts on Twitter with my
Did he
limericks
respond?
on there. Well, not by the time I finished when he went off air. They had a couple of limericks there, but people still don't get the limerick concept. They've got to understand the structure of a limerick properly. So there were a few
It's a
limericks
highly
there.
structured piece of poetry.
It is, absolutely. So there are a few there, but I just love the idea that here we are listening to the cricket from the other side of the world, and the limericks were one of the topics of conversation.
Beautiful.
Some people might say there's not much happening in the cricket, so you've got other things to talk about.
They do tend to be a bit of filling in, let's just say.
That's right. So that's a slight aside there. Here we go for the limerick this week. Dubbo councillors, bold and brave, decided it was blood they'd save. Donations were their call to one and to all, creating a life-saving wave.
Oh, well done. I think you've absolutely nailed the nuances of the limerick with that one there this week. So, what's our focus this week, mate? What are you going to focus on?
After the trip to Lismore and Tweedheads, I thought I should...
Well, it's been a big part of our podcast today.
It has been. So I thought I'll ask Steve to listen to my podcast this week so he can listen to a few chats about him, and then writing a limerick just for Lismore.
Oh.
And I apologise to Tweedheads, but I just, after being to both, I just feel a bit more for Lismore. And that's not to undermine all the devastation and hard work that went through Tweedheads, but Lismore just seemed to be hit so hard. So here we go. In Lismore, mayors arrived one by one, seeking wisdom under the morning sun. After the flood's cruel blow, they yearned to learn and grow. In Lismore's spirit, their hope was spun.
Well done. Well done. A big shout out to Steve up there at Lismore. Mate, you're doing a fabulous job. Now, Matt, it's time for the Limerick of the Week. Now, I'm going to do something I've never done, and that is I'm going to actually give you a topic.
Oh, no.
I really test your ability here because you sit here every week and you present these wonderful limericks. But I'm going to give you a topic to focus on. And it's the opening topic that we had at the start of the top of the podcast, which is, of course, the 3D printing. So, let's see how clever you are.
Well, I'm in luck because I've written my limerick this week.
Oh, you're kidding.
It's the Nage topic. How could I write about anything else? So
Here's me trying to catch you out.
That's right. You give me an easy one where you picked something that was the obvious one for the week.
Oh,
so
goodness.
there was no doubt about it. It was the focus for the week with national media. I ended up going there not by design, but there were different things I had to do over on site each and every day throughout the week there and talking to different people. So anyway, enough chat. Now you've given me the challenge. I can pretend I'll just make it up here on the spot, but I did
You
write
could
it.
have done that. I'd have been very, very impressed.
That's right. So here goes. A toilet block sprang from the pad. From a 3D printer. Not too bad. With concrete precision, it met the vision. A restroom miracle was had.
Ah, well done. Look, despite the fact you actually made that up prior to coming here today, I would love to have heard it without the actual sort of time frame, but you did very, very well. Well done, mate. Very impressive. This big program today of areas we focus on, what are you going to focus on for your limerick?
Always a trouble to find the highlight of the week because there's so much. I mean, there's so many things we've talked about there. So many things we didn't talk about because there's just not enough time.
Yes.
But this week, I think the highlight for me was Samuel Johnson's visit and making Dubbo, hopefully, a world first in precision medicine. So, Samuel, this is a limerick for you.
Oh, wonderful.
In Dubbo, Sam Johnson did stand, with an archable prize in the land. He gazed at his face in that gallery space, saying, "It captures me quite grand."
I have to say, that's probably one of your best ones yet.
Oh, you say that every
I
week.
know, but I genuinely mean it this week. That was actually a really good one.
Thank you.
It just seemed to sort of really work. That was fantastic. Well done. Good on you, mate. Well, it's been a long podcast today. I've got a feeling it's probably, we've just broken our new record for length of time of discussion.
There was a lot on this week.
There was a lot on this
and we
week.
had to leave a few other.
I know, we'll have to save that for next week one.
Yeah, maybe.
So what do you got for us this week?
Well, it's all about the new chamber. I think that's been the interesting topic of discussion this week, so I thought I'd write a limerick on the chamber. So here we go. Dubbo's council, with visions so clear, unveiled a new chamber this year for meetings and chatter on civic issues that matter, and applause ran from front to the rear.
Well done. Well done. And to all the those who were down there the other day, as well to the new councillors and the old council, must have been lovely to sort of to see the new facilities up and running. All right, mate, it's time for the Limerick of the Week. So, what have you got for us this week?
It was tough, actually. I did think about doing one about our Japanese students leaving, but
Yes.
maybe I'll save that limerick for when we've got Japanese students from Dubbo going across
Yes.
to Minakamo. But the biggest event this week, I thought, was our International Aerial Firefighting
It was,
Conference.
yeah, very impressive.
So I thought maybe that'd be the one to do it on. So this is what I've come up with. Dubbo's gathering, quite the affair, focused on skies and the fire-laden air. With tales of great fights and perilous flights, they shared knowledge with passion and care.
Well done. Well done as usual. Congratulations. A number of things here today. We talked about bumping into Alan Joyce and the new CEO there of Qantas. We've talked about the Regional Capitals Australia Board meeting. What else we had a little chat about there? Oh, of course, the standing committees. What are you going to talk about? What's going to be your limerick this week?
I'm actually finding it tougher and tougher. I think I need to start doing multiple limericks, but they take too long to
Combination of all of the above.
Well, actually, maybe that's not a bad idea, but you haven't got much space in a limerick
No,
to,
that's right. Well,
to
5
bring in
lines.
too many topics. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So it was tough, and it's getting tougher each week because we do seem to be talking. There's so much happening, and there's lots of things to talk about. But I did really enjoy the judging of the Rhino, the new Rhino design.
Nice
So
choice.
I thought I'd go with that one. So it goes something like this. Dubbo's children, both talented and bright, entered a contest with pure delight. With artistic lines on Rhino designs, their winning artworks will be a splendid sight.
Ah, mate, well done as usual. Congratulations, and I'm sure the kids out there will love that little one as well. What have you got for us this week?
Well, a lot of different things to choose from, but I thought with our first responders, given the fact we've got some action at the Burrabadine Brigade on Saturday night and then our police during the week, so I just thought let's talk about our first responders in our limerick this week. So maybe it's a little bit more serious than normally my limericks. I always try and make them a little bit amusing, question mark, but this one's a bit more serious because I just think they do some great work. So
Very good.
here we go this week. Burrabadine Brigade, strong and true, and Dubbo's police, a steadfast crew. In bushfire or crime, they're there every time, dedicated to helping everyone of you.
Oh, well done. Yes. Now, I can't be laughing at that. That was a bit more serious this week, but that was wonderful, as per usual. All right, mate, it's that time of the week. It's the time for the Limerick of the Week. So what do you have for us today?
Couldn't help but the jail, having my youngest daughter there
Sit in
snipping
solitary confinement with
That's
you.
right.
Yes, absolutely. That's understandable. I think a lot of parents probably at some point in time in their life want to put their kids in solitary confinement.
Why not? So this week I've got a guest speaker for our Limerick for the week.
A guest speaker.
So,
Who have we got?
well, I thought, given the fact that my youngest daughter came along with me, laid there in solitary confinement in the very eerie environment, I've written the Limerick for this week, and I'm going to bring my daughter in to actually deliver the Limerick for the week.
My God, I love the way you punish your kids.
As old Dubbo Jail tucked in bed, for Vinnies I'd face my own dread. But the ghost whispered near, saying,
Why are you here?
and I wished I were home instead.
Beautiful. Oh, I love the fact we've got a little bit of a guest speaker in here today, our little bit of a guest poet as well. Well, mate, it's that time of the week when we get into your Limerick of the Week. So, what have we got?
Well, this week the Staff Awards was probably...
it's very timely.
I was going to do it on Marsha, but I thought that's a bit of an easy one. So I thought the Staff Award, to really recognise the staff that are doing some great work, to me, that was a highlight from this week. So, here we go. Dubbo Regional Council, in spirit quite keen, through an awards event that had to be seen. With a laugh and a cheer, we made it quite clear our staff are the best there had ever been.
Well done again, mate. Well done. And, of course, a wonderful call out there to all the team down there at Dubbo Regional Council, and a great job. Well done. It's not often we get such a perfect segue for your Limerick, but I'd be suggesting today that the most obvious Limerick option that you must be preparing for us today would be something on the Dream Festival, surely today.
Well, I've cheated here a little bit because I did use a limerick when I launched Dream a few months ago.
Yes.
And at the official opening ceremony, I did use a limerick for Dream as well when I was there on Saturday.
So you're going to share us with us today?
So I'm going to have the same limerick there, that's right.
Well,
So
it's reuse, recycle. It's all about the environment.
exactly right. I don't want anyone to miss out on this. The Dream Fest in Dubbo's a sight, with lanterns that dance in the night. As they float through the air, there's a magical flare that fills every heart with delight.
Oh, lovely work, lovely work. Well, it's time for the Limerick of the Week. So, Matt, we've had a lot to get through again today. What have you chosen as your Limerick for the week?
It's getting tougher and tougher each week, but I do
Lot to
like
get to.
I do like the idea that we are a very progressive and innovative council, so I thought, why not write a limerick on that?
Oh, it's almost a little segue from our last little call, wasn't it?
Absolutely
That's great.
right. You timed it perfectly. In Dubbo, the council is awake. Bold and courageous steps we will take. Not a fan of the old, we are daring and bold. A future of difference we will make.
Oh, well done, and here, I suggest. It's time for the Limerick of the Week.
Well, I should do the limerick of the week on Mark asking me all the tough questions about all the
Fair
things
enough,
that
I
happened
say. There's
last
nothing
year.
wrong with that.
But what I will do is I'll do a limerick on really, I can't summarise a year and 9 months into one limerick, but I'll do a bit about on the council and where we've gone. So there we go. Here it goes. At DRC, we've worked day and night for 21 months to make things right. Councillors, you see, help the town to be a place where the future is so bright.
Oh, well done. Well, I think you've just absolutely nailed it. You've summed it up perfectly. The Limerick of the Week.
So many things to talk about, but I couldn't help myself around the next year, mayor again, council, lots of fun, amazing things that we'll look at and try and make a difference with. So encapsulating all that in a limerick, this is what it sounds like.
Excellent. Fire away.
Dubbo's mayor and deputy are very keen to continue the work on building the dream. Councillors will lend a hand to deliver a region that is grand, and next year voters will decide if we stay on the scene.
Ah, nice work. Again, I think you've nailed it very, very well. A few little things here to talk about today. I'm interested to see which way you're going to lead today.
Definitely the community leaders meeting. I mean, I know it would be easy to do it on The Voice, but maybe you wait till next week.
That's right. Save that for next week's discussion, maybe.
But I love this concept of community leaders breakfast, community leaders meeting. I just love the concept that it's not done anywhere else in the nation. It's done regularly. We put ourselves, all three levels, put ourselves out there and say, come and tell us whatever. So my limerick is all on that.
Wonderful.
Here we go.
Well, let's see what you got.
In Dubbo, we hold quite a meet where leaders and locals do greet. Council, state and the Fed share a forum, it's said, for community talks that are neat.
Oh, well done again, mate. Well done.
Now, I believe you have a limerick that you have created specifically for today. Do we get the pleasure of listening to that today?
Is it any surprise to you that I do a limerick each and every week?
No. I know your ringtone's already been changed to a new limerick, so I look forward to hearing this new limerick.
Well, I do a limerick each week, and I do like to surprise Mark, the normal host, with the limerick, and it's obviously about a topic that happened during the week. So here goes my limerick for this week. When the usual host took a break, the mayor thought who'd better to take. With Georgie aboard, the listeners were floored. Their chemistry no one could fake.
Brilliant. I couldn't have done it better myself. I wish I came prepared with one for you, but you might have to wait for another time.
You've got a week to prepare the next one. Depends whether Mark's back next week.
Yeah, I'll start working on it now.
I don't have Mark here to judge my limerick of the week, unfortunately, but hopefully he'll listen to that and then he'll give me some feedback on how the limerick has gone this week. The rhinos, it was too hard for me to pass up the opportunity to talk about the rhinos in my limerick. I think the rhinos are an absolute highlight of the annual calendar, so why not make them a highlight of the podcast for this week? Dubbo's rhinos are second to none, a gathering that's always great fun. With winners so grand, they all take a stand as their hard work is publicly spun. So hopefully Mark enjoyed that limerick.
Well, that brings us to the end of the podcast this week. But of course, the most important part, in fact, I'm not sure if it's good or bad, but some people do tell me this is the highlight for them each week. Hopefully there's some really important information in the podcast as well, but the limerick for the week. And with a bit of the information around the committees and some of the discussion around that, I thought it made sense that the limerick this week was all about committees. So here we go. Committees in Dubbo, you see, are as crucial as a strong cup of tea. They discuss and debate, make sure plans are first rate, so the city thrives for you and for me. The most exciting thing from the podcast this week is the water usage app. So I wrote my limerick this week with a focus on that. So here we go. There's a smart way to monitor taps that can help fill the water usage gaps. Get the app on your phone and you'll soon be shown how to avoid any water mishaps.
Rather than limerick today, I think Remembrance Day is a little bit more serious, and certainly it was the most significant event in the last week, and I didn't really want to do a trivial limerick about something that is so serious. So I've written this poem. I haven't actually got a name for it. Someone said to me on Saturday after Remembrance Day, what was the name of that poem? And I said, well, I only just wrote it during the week, so I haven't got a name for it yet, so I'll have to come up with a name for it. But I'll do this instead of my limerick this week. And this is obviously about Remembrance Day. In the morning light of a younger sun, across foreign fields where rivers run, with the haunting bugle's solemn song, we recall the brave, the young, the strong. On the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, with skies of ashen grey, we mark the silence of that hour when peace came forth with soothing power. For diggers came from the bush and towns, from Dubbo's plains to the Sydney sounds. They bore the heat, the cold, the rain, and the burdens of a soldier's pain. They fought for peace neath foreign skies, in lands afar where the poppy lies. Their courage etched in history's page, courage and valour beyond their age. The guns fell silent, the war did cease, but for the return no sweet release. Visions of horror, the echoes of fight, would haunt their slumber night after night. Aussies standing side by side in trenches deep in waves so wide. The great war's end, the victory won. Many lads returned, but not every one. Yet sad the truth that time reveals, the war was not to end all ordeals. Conflicts arose like storms anew. Again our soldiers stood, steadfast and true. In Flanders fields and on Gallipoli's shore, the Anzac spirit forevermore. In times of peace and hardship both, that spirit lives, it's our solemn oath. For over 100,000 souls, their names etched on honour rolls, died serving us through seas and mud, their legacy written with their blood. From the Somme to the Kokoda track, in far-off lands, in the outback, when mateship and the courage soar, the Anzac spirit Who could ask for more? The poppy red, the crosses white, remind us of their valiant fight. In silence we bow our heads to their plight, forever grateful they took up the fight. For it's our privilege, our solemn right, to remember them, to hold the light of freedom's torch handed down, to live in peace in every city and town. As we stand here, let our hearts pledge to honour them on history's edge. For our tomorrow they gave their today. In our memories they shall forever stay. And further on this hallowed day, to those who've gone, we softly say, your sacrifice won't be in vain. In memory's heart you'll always reign. With our gratitude as our feelings reflect, in solemn promise we shall never neglect. For their noble quest we owe them all a debt, and we will remember them, lest we forget.
A while since I've asked you about the Limerick of the Week, so what have you got for us this week?
Well, that's exactly the topic I want to talk about. I'm a bit excited to have you back there hosting the podcast for me, so I thought I'd write a limerick about you coming back.
Oh, mate, that's very sweet of you.
I might encourage you to keep coming back in future weeks. I'm not going to promise I'm going to do it about you every week, but for this week it's a comeback.
I don't know. We can talk about that.
Okay, so here we go. Mark's back to our great delight. Now you can listen to him day and night. His voice a familiar sound. In Dubbo he's renowned. His return makes everything right.
Oh, that's very sweet of you. A little teardrop. Just sort of start to fall there.
Steady on.
Oh, that's beautiful. Ask me every week. What have you got for us this week?
Now, it's a serious issue, but it kind of ended up being not so serious an issue. So I thought I'd try doing a limerick about hijacking, because it is a bit funny when you think about what happened. And again, I've
The
got to be
hijack
careful
you have when you don't have a hijack.
That's right, the Clayton's hijack. Sorry to all those listeners under the age of 50 mentioning the word Clayton.
That's right.
But does Clayton still exist? Is it?
Oh,
I haven't seen.
I don't know.
I haven't seen a famous Australian actor advertising Clayton's for a long time.
No, it's been many years.
But I'm a bit concerned about my decision to go with a hijack this week.
No, go for it.
Because sometimes you take a serious, which it is a serious topic for people that have ever had this experience.
Yeah, that's right.
But I just thought it was a bit.
Oh, it's worth it.
Right, so here we go. At Dubbo's airport, a frenzy began, as it was said that a hijack was the plan. But there was no terror, it was just a radio error, and the pilot was not a bad man.
Oh, well done, buddy. I like the fact that you've managed to bring in a topic that can be quite serious, and you've put that little comical twist on it. Well done indeed. Well, mate, it's getting to that time, the end of the podcast, and moving towards the Limerick of the Week. So what have you got for us this week?
I couldn't help go past the citizenship. I've probably done a limerick on citizenship before, but
You probably have, but I always enjoy your citizenship one.
I do like the fact that we've got all these people moving to Dubbo.
Yes.
So this week it's all about people coming to Dubbo. From the north, the south, east and west, Dubbo's their choice, it's the very best. With cultures so rich, life's a wonderful stitch. In this city, we're all joyously blessed.
Oh, I love it. I love the actions too that you put into that one as well. Like, listeners can't see it, but I can. Of course, it's that time where it's the Limerick of the Week. So, I've got a bit of a feeling that your Limerick of the Week this week may have something to do with Japan. Am I right in saying that?
It was, for me, the highlight. And
Yes.
sure, I've given you 20 minutes there, but I could talk for 20 hours about
understandably
what we saw and
so.
the things that we did there. So I did do the limerick this week on Japan, so I'll give that to you now. Now back from the land of the rising sun, the hearts of the delegates had all been won, for in every Japanese face we found a warm embrace, and our journey was second to none.
Well done, well done. So, what are we looking at this week?
I thought of you appearing in the videos at the Old Dubbo Jail, so
Did you now?
I couldn't help doing something about the Old Dubbo Jail, because I do
Nice.
think it's quite special. the
It
new
is.
exhibitions
As we
that are
talked
there.
about, it's incredibly special, this setup.
So this week it's all about the Old Dubbo Jail. So
Lovely.
here we go. And remember that the Life of Crime is what the new exhibition's called and
Yes.
what the book is called as well. So, life of crime at the jail does portray many repeat offenders from yesterday. Their stories untold with expressions quite bold, revealing lives that sadly went astray.
Oh, very nice. Well done.
Well, there we have it. A year in Dubbo, wrapped up in whimsy and wit. I hope these limericks have left you with a light heart and a smile as bright as our Dubbo sunsets. As I close off this lyrical journey through the year, remember, each day in Dubbo is a stanza in the poem of our lives. Keep adding your verses, your voice, your vibrancy, and thank you for tuning in throughout 2023. Next week, I will pick out the significant stories from the 53 episodes and more than 70 hours of podcast information that was delivered throughout 2023, before we resume with the next episode of new content on Sunday the 14th of January at 10 a.m. as usual. Happy New Year!
Straight from the Mayor's Mouth with Matthew Dickerson from Dubbo Regional Council.